Quietin, guys, and I'm finally sat down to actually talk about my NFL mock draft for 2023. Now, in the next coming weeks, I will be going back and watching, again, changing some things about my mock draft in the next coming weeks. This isn't the final mock draft. So again, there'll be multiple things. I could change things on this draft board that I have. That a lot of people, like, what the fuck have you got this guy higher or this guy lower? But again, I love this time of the year when it comes to sports. It's especially in the NFL when it's the draft season. Especially because again, you don't know who's gonna go for who's gonna get what, and you're just basically going off your own instinct and stuff like that. So this is again, I've changed a couple of picks around in this draft. Some people traded up in my draft, so again, put that in mind that this isn't like the official draft. This is like me, where I think teams should go in the draft. Anyway, less of me talking about that. On to the first pick. As we know, yesterday I'm recording this on Sunday night. So on Saturday, we had the Bears trade away their first round pick to the Panthers, who had a 9th round pick overall in the first round, and for them, they need to get a quarterback. I said that in my recap of the Panthers. They need to address the quarterback position. I know they got Matt Corral last year, but he had a foot injury, and again, you don't know what you have with Matt Corral. So he's still a very unknown prospect. So you need to get yourself a top 2 quarterback. And in this draft, the first overall pick that's going to go for, I think, majority of the people on the mock draft is C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. Again, there's a lot of debate who's the better quarterback out of Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. I'm more of a fan of Bryce Young personally, but I don't think he's going to go first overall because again, you look at him, he's 5'11". Our team's going to really go for a 5'11" quarterback first overall, and already going to go for C.J. Stroud, who again, I know he's had better weapons around him this season in college than Bryce Young has, but again, he's probably the guy they're going to go with. So Panthers, for me, are going to go for C.J. Stroud first overall from Ohio State. Then second, and now I know the Texans had the second place overall in the draft, but I've done a bit of tweaking in this. I've traded up for my Detroit Lions. Yes, my Detroit Lions have been trading up. We're actually getting our shit together. Brad Holmes is going to get his shit together this season, and we're trading up our 6th round pick that we originally had for a 2nd round pick, and we're going to get Bryce Young from Alabama. He's been under that Nick Saban leadership for the last several years. He's a great leader. I've talked about him in depth in my scout reports, but he's a great leader. He's a great leader that I've seen, and he's lost a couple of his weapons in 2022, and then they still retained they still went back to back in championships for 2022, for 2021 and 2022. So again, that's just a great mindset that Bryce Young has. He's 5'11". Again, it is what it is. But again, him going second, I think that's about right. And so again, I got the Lions trading up for second. I'll have all this in the description box so you can give it a read. Third overall, I've gone for the Cardinals. They've got the 3rd pick. I've kept them at 3, and I guess they're gonna keep Kyler Murray because again, they get in that contract last year. They're gonna maybe give him another year, and maybe look at 2025 for 2024 for a quarterback. So the 3rd round for the Cardinals, I've gone for Will Anderson Jr., a teammate of Bryce Young. He's a edge / defensive end. I see him going. So I've gone in 3rd for the Cardinals. They need to work on that defense side of the ball. A lot of areas that they need to address, the Cardinals. But again, that I've gone for Will Anderson Jr. Number 4, it's the Indianapolis Colts. For many years, the Colts have needed that quarterback, that franchise quarterback that's going to take them to the next level. For too long, they've had too many aging quarterbacks like the Matt Ryans of the world, the Carson Wentz, who again hasn't been great since 2017. You've had Peyton Manning at the end of his career. You've had Andrew Luck, who was one of your best quarterbacks you've had in the last couple of years. So at number 4, I've gone for a quarterback. They need to get that quarterback position. Quarterback position addressed in this draft. They got Shane Statham from the Eagles in the offseason. So again, he'll be good working with the young quarterback. He's worked with Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. And I've gone for Will Levis from Kentucky. Will Levis from Kentucky. Now, number 5 on my list. I'm not going to talk about everybody. I'm going to talk about a couple of them. So number 5 on my list, I've got Jalen Carter, defensive line from Georgia for the Seahawks. Again, I look at the Seahawks and I'm like, are you really going to address the one big thing they need in this draft? And that is to address the quarterback position. That is a thing that I'm looking at. And I look at John Snyder and I look at Pete Carroll over the last couple of years that they've been doing these drafts. I don't like again, they needed a quarterback last year. They got Geno Smith and got away with it. This year they need a quarterback, but I think in the 5th round they're going to go for a Jalen Carter, defensive line from Georgia. I think they're going to work on the defensive side of the ball. Jalen Carter, defensive line, in my opinion, is going to go to the Seahawks. And then I've got the next pick, the Texans. They traded again. They had the second pick overall. Obviously, I traded that up for the Lions so we can get Bryce Young. So 6th round, first round in 6th overall, I've gone for Anthony Richardson Jr. Anthony Richardson, quarterback from Florida. From the Florida Gators. Apparently he can throw to like over 80 yards. I don't know if that's true or not, but he's a prospect. Other things I've talked about, I'm going to quickly run down this. I've got Paris Johnson Jr. going to the Bears, who have a 9th round pick. I have Brodrick Jones, who's going to the Titans. Also, I have the Bengals. Now they have a 28th pick overall. I've traded them up to 15th to get themselves an offensive tackle at 15th. Darnell Wright from Tennessee, and then the Packers, who had a 28th round pick, who had a 15th round pick, 15th pick. They've been traded up to 28th, and 28th. That's what the Bengals had. So they've been traded down to 28th. And in return, I'll give them like some draft picks for 2024, 2025, 2026, and whatever. They can have a couple of 2nd, 3rd round picks, whatever. And then for them, they need a wide receiver. They stupidly worked on the offensive side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball last year, and it didn't work. They need to look at some more weapons. Again, you don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to is he going to stay in Green Bay, whatever. But whatever the case is, they need to address that offensive side of the ball. And I've gone for Jordan Edison, who's a wide receiver from USU. From USU. And I've got him going at number 28 in the 1st round. I've got the rest of the whole things. I've got the whole drafts. My 1st round of the draft is going to be in the description box, so you can give it a read. Give it a read, guys. Give it your thoughts. Give me your opinion on the draft, the 1st round pick of the draft. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going to come back again with another mock draft, an updated one, and give you. Some of these plays are going to be changing. Some of these positions in the draft are going to be changing in my next draft. I could go back and say, you could have Will Levis go at number 2, and then you could have Bryce Young going at 4. A lot of things could change in that scenario. So again, like I said, they're in the draft. They're in the description box. Give it a read. Give it a look. A read. And yeah.